Okay. Perfect. So, just as a quick recap alignment here. So from the Keysight side, it's just myself, Megan, and Kelly, who the team has met. I don't think, Jeff, is there anyone new to this call that hasn't met the three of us? Do we need to do any kind of
I think
introductions?
Sharath might be the only one. I don't know whether you were involved in any of the previous discussions, Sharath.
No, this is my first call.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. Go ahead. I think, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. So, Shara, it's great to meet you. I'll just run through introductions so we don't eat into too much time.
Yep.
So you have myself, Autumn Siliberto. I'm based here on the East Coast, and I help manage the partnership here, all U.S. and Canada partners. So I've been working closely with Grayson. Then we have Kelly Thompson on, who's one of our enterprise account directors who helps manage and facilitate not only here the alignment with Grayson, but also with the team from the state of Illinois. And then Megan Danielson as well, who is one of our lead technical resources here, our technical consultants. And she will be helping with facilitating all of the project work here and hands-on kind of training for the team just to ensure success. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Great. Thank you very much. And I'm just one of the folks in the Steve Klassen team. One of the
Wonderful.
technical folks.
Yeah, Sharath is part of shared services and he'll be helping out with some of the rollout.
Perfect.
Nice
Well,
to meet you.
Great to meet you, and sure you'll play a key role here. But so the agenda for today, we have 60 minutes scheduled. I was thinking, Jeff, this is what we'd like to propose, which is if the team could share, if someone wants to take lead here from the Grayson side to screen share, Megan will just walk through a implementation of the Eggplant licenses just to make sure that they're deployed accurately. Just review kind of your installation of that. If it hasn't been started, we can walk you through that process. And then from there, we want to go over from Grayson's team what you've learned from state of Illinois. What are the most critical phase one objectives that we have together? And we'll start with those and just kind of walk Megan through so she'll know kind of how to guide the team. And then we'll go through like our project mapping. That way it can get us really teed up for tomorrow's session and Thursday. And then from each of those sessions, we'll kind of just backfill anything we couldn't complete and what you guys want to focus on. Anything else you wanted to cover during this meeting?
No, that's fine. I think that's the key thing. I think there's a couple of things that I want to talk through just about, like we talked about ensuring that we have standards in place and guidance in place as we move forward, right? With any best practices that you have from folder structures or how, when you have multiple teams participating, how do you manage if they are independent, but those test cases will come together, right? So just wanted to ensure that we capture some best practice and document those.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Sorry, Megan, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll definitely go over some of that kind of sprinkled in through the sessions over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I think what we wanted to do, Jeff, was like to focus a lot of our time here because we have some critical deadlines on the project specifics. But what we'll also ensure to do, as Megan mentioned, is best practices, learning. Excuse me, I apologize. So that's a key part. And just so you know, not only for this project, but ongoing for Grayson, we will provide you with any necessary training and coaching on Eggplant because of being like a partner with our team. So that's fully available to the team. Let's start with implementation. So who from the Grayson side is going to be sharing their screen to kind of walk through that?
Akhil, do you have that? Oh, Camilla, I don't know who's.
I don't know if I have all the access and all the installation. My Citrix is open. Eggplant functional is uploaded. If Akhil confirm that I can go, then I will share.
Camilla, I don't think you have access to the RDP. So what do we want to see here? I'm sorry.
Have you guys assigned your new licenses yet in KSM and then applied them to your RLM server?
No, Megan. That
Okay.
step is pending. Yeah.
Okay, so that's, I think, what Adam was kind of thinking we would start with here. So one of the team members can share your screen and we can walk through the process of going into KSM, making sure the licenses are uploaded, and then we can assign them out to the correct machines and make sure everything is, established and running and all of that.
Okay. But the question is that, so the only open item was, how do we access the Realm server from the Citrix VM?
Yes, and so I was going to say, as you were standing, pulling up screens and stuff, that was going to be my next question. I couldn't remember if we had closed the loop on that as part of the trial. I know you were able to access DAI from the Citrix environment in the end. Were you able to access the RLM server from that Citrix environment?
No, we were not.
Okay.
And it's not a Illinois.gov issue, because we are able to access DAI.
Okay, so I think from that perspective, then, when it comes to assigning licenses, I had mentioned this at one point kind of as a potential way we may have to go is we may have to end up standing up two RLM servers, so one within Crayson and then one within the Citrix environment. I don't want to say that's like definitively what we need to do. I think we can send it to our support team and just for sure have them cross all the T's and dot all the I's and make sure there's nothing on RLM side. But unfortunately, from our perspective, RLM kind of is an unzip the folder, access the page. And if the ports are opened and things like that, and you're still unable to access from the Citrix environment, the only route may be something from the RLM side, which is the actual third-party tool through their like administration documentation. But we don't know what that would be. So long way of saying, when we assign licenses today, I think we should look at first only assigning a portion of the licenses to your current RLM server, just in case we have to, in the end, create that second RLM server inside of the Citrix environment, if that all makes sense.
I see. So we can stand up RLM server on the Citrix VM, and then that'll control the licensing.
And then anyone who is accessing Eggplant from inside the Citrix environment would be accessing the licenses on that internal RLM server. And then you all who are accessing Eggplant on the Crayson environment would be accessing the licenses from that RLM server. So it's a bit of a break in how a normal architecture would be, but it's because of whatever that disconnect in the network is between RLM being able to be accessed all the way through to the Citrix environment.
So I have a question. So when you say accessing from the Krasen side, we only ever accessing it from within Illinois environment, right? Not from the Krasen environment. So
no, just Jeff, she's right. So essentially, it's two different domains for us, right? Although it is all controlled by Gov, it is still two different domains. So what Megan is suggesting is that we install RLM on each of the domains. So Illinois.gov and IL Gov DCFS. But what's surprising is, if DAI is accessible across these domains, then how come RLM is not?
Right. And so that's why before we, stand up a second server and assign licenses to it and things like that, I think we can send this to our support team and have them really dig into all of the nitty gritty and see if there's something I'm missing here, just because that level of digging into logs and things like that is not my expertise. I'll be quite frank. And so they can just make sure we're covering all bases here before we set up that second server. Because in theory, I agree. It should make sense that you should be able to connect all the way through, especially since we were able to get DAI to connect all the way through. This is just kind of since part of today's call was going to be assigning licenses in KSM, I don't want us to assign all of the licenses to the one RLM server. And then next week we need to reassign licenses, because that's a process that goes through a different part of our support team, and there's a lot of paperwork involved, and it is possible, but it's just easier to do it, one time, in the correct place from the beginning.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good, Megan.
Yeah, I think to Megan, I think to Jeff's point, I think, we will just have one server either. So Akhil, it'll either be a do it workspace or the DCFS cloud workspace. I think we will not have two servers for the licenses.
Yes, Krishna, that makes sense. So then until then we can just grant Camilla, Lina, and a few others access to the. I mean, yeah, whoever you want
Yeah,
us to, Camilla.
let's load
Yeah,
a few licenses for
yeah,
sure, and then
yeah.
So my point is at some point we may have to transfer to a different server, if this is not resolved.
Sure. Okay, sounds good. Let me share my screen. We can walk through this. Okay, so yeah, this is our Citrix. Actually, this is our Eggplant VM.
Okay. So what we'll need is the email you guys received with the purchase order information. So that certificate number and order number and all of that. And then we'll go into your KSM account and we'll upload all that information. So you have access to the licenses and then we'll assign them out. So there's a couple of parts here.
Okay, and who was the email from?
I sent it across, Akhil.
Okay.
And Autumn or Kelly, do you guys have handy the customer facing KSM email address that we can send over? I don't know if it's in that email. The only one bookmarked I have is the internal one and I need to bookmark the customer facing one.
Is this the one, Jeff?
Yes, this is it.
Megan, I don't know that I do, but let's see if we've got the email.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the email right now.
Kelly, is the attachment, I thought, or was that just the order confirmation?
Well, it was the e-delivery notification, so it would have been the license certificate, but I'm not real familiar with the KSM sites.
Yeah, that's the order delivery that I sent across.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you needed?
That would be all I have, Megan.
Okay.
Okay. So then in that case, how do we open this attachment file?
I've got it open. You can't open it. You should be able to open the email, and it has a PDF.
Oh, it's a PDF? Okay.
Open the email, and in the email would be a PDF.
Oh, that's also Outlook. Oh, I see. Inside the email. Okay.
Yeah,
so I wonder if this is going to open up. Let's see. I hope it does.
So that contains just product numbers, though, right? Is that what you're looking for, Megan?
Yes. So at the top, that order number and certificate number is what we'll need.
Okay.
And then in that email, I'm now seeing, because I opened up the email as well, I did find it. It says, dear valued customer, Keysight entitlement, blah, blah, blah. About 2 or 3 lines down, there's a www.keysight.com/find/software manager. That's the customer facing link for KSM. So you'll have to click on that. Yep. And if you haven't created an account yet, I think it'll take you to a page to create a login for yourself. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So this is going to be nothing we've used yet for like DAI or anything. This is going to be like a Akil email account or something like that to access this KSM system. So if you hadn't created that yet, do the first time user.
So this is different from the Realm server?
Yes. So this is on the Keysight website. This is just where the licenses are hosted originally. So what we're going to do is we're going to put your certificate and all of that onto this KSM, and then you are internally in that system going to assign the specific licenses to your RLM server, and then everything can be accessed offline, and there's no concerns about that. This is just where everything it lives once it's purchased, basically.
I see. So I wonder if this solves the problem with the cross-domain.
It shouldn't, because it's technically before the step of the licenses that you guys were using during the trial, I cut you temporary keys for Eggplant, but they were the same type of license key that you will ultimately be assigning through KSM. So this is just a pre-stage that you never had to do during the trial, because with temporary keys, I handled it all in my internal system.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Did you copy the certificate number and stuff?
yeah, I need that, please. So order number.
It's in the PDF, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want me to ping you?
No, it's good. Thank you. Okay, so we have the product number.
It's on the top. The order number and the certificate number is right on the top. Scroll up.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay. Right, and then now that you've created your account, you can click on that login and it'll bring you back to that initial page to log in. Okay, so now you'll look at the license management. There it says request new licenses. So it's showing you that they're the second box over. Yeah. And so here's all of the licenses that you all purchased. So now you can see everything that is part of your bundle. And the things we'll want to assign ultimately are the studio developer and the Fusion engine execution. That is your Eggplant functional developer and your Eggplant functional execution. So once you've selected those lines, over on the right, you can see how many licenses you have. So you have 5 available to you. You can select up to 5 of those that you want to assign out, or if in this case you just want to give, say, 2 of you access, put them on this RLM server until we figure out what the ultimate, architecture is going to be. Where that, at the end of the line, the little red box, you'll enter a number there for both of those.
But is this for the server or for the client?
So this is for the RLM server. So this is where essentially in the end, you're going to get a file similar to what I sent you guys during the trial that you will upload into RLM. We are just doing the assigning part here because these are your permanent keys now. So you guys have to do all of that inside of KSM.
I see. So okay, let's go ahead. So
then you'll assign products. Yep. And this is where we will put that machine, the physical host ID, the MAC address of your RLM server. So whatever the 10-digit, whatever it is, number and letter string. So it'll be do ipconfig-all is usually where you can get that physical address. Okay, so down at the bottom, there's a physical address 00-1D, unless there's another one listed. Sometimes if you have multiple Ethernets, no, so it looks like it's just that one. So that should be your 001D, that one, yeah. Now it's Eggplant is funny, and for Eggplant functional licenses, it needs to be in a slightly different format than what your command prompt provided you with. So at the beginning of that string, put the number 0 and a lowercase x, and then go through and delete all of the dashes. It's the same exact physical address. It's just a slightly different format that the EPF expects.
Okay. Camila, can you please make a note of this? So we get the MAC address or physical address and then put a 0x, remove the dashes out. So then we'll have to execute this on the client also once if we need to.
Correct. Yep. So if we end up assigning to a separate RLM server inside of the Citrix environment, we would do this exact same process, just with that physical address of the machine for the RLM server in the other environment. Yes. Okay.
Save?
Save. Yep. And then continue. And then the request licenses button, it's going to say, are you sure? I think it's a pop-up. Oh, there we go. And you'll confirm. So now it just has to think for a minute. I think ultimately you will get both an email, and once this processes, there should be a download button right on this page. And that button, you're downloading that LIC file. Yep, so there you can now just download that file right here. And that's the same LIC file that I sent over during the trial. You will just need to input that into the folder where your RLM runs out of.
So are these, okay, just one file contains both the licenses or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll contain the information for both.
Okay.
So you need to move that to the location
sure.
of your RLM executable. Okay. So now, I can't remember, did we set up RLM as a service for you guys, or was it just through the executable that we were launching it?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think we needed to complete that also.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's just make sure before we do that, let's just start it manually from the executable here, and then make sure that new license is read in, and then we can do the setup through the create and service for it. Okay, can you pull up services then just to see, maybe we did set it up as a service if it's saying the port is in use.
Yes, that's right. Oh boy.
We started the trial a couple months ago, so I just don't remember exactly what steps we crossed off.
Yeah. And then Megan, there was also a question about performance testing.
Yes.
So
yep.
Do we need to spin up a second server for performance testing? Or?
So that would be, I am not the expert on performance. We would bring in my coworker Phil for that. He will help you. I think you can set everything up on the same server. I have not done an install on performance in quite some time. So we can have Phil come in. We can set him up with either one of the sessions that's already established or a different one that works with his schedule for you guys. And he can help with the installation, the, signing licenses, and then some training for that as well.
Okay,
so perfect. The sessions that we have set up are specifically for training the testers, right? So any installation, etc., has to be done outside of that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we're looking for the RLM
so it would
service?
be probably DAI, or no, not DAI, sorry, RLM. Yep, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. So RLM, there it is. Yep, so it is running already. Okay. So that means you can close that command prompt that we just, the new one, if you didn't already close it. Looks like you did, so that's great. So now we just need to go to the website for RLM and reread the server so that it pulls in the new license.
Right.
So it would be this is your DAI server. So it would be the 5054, the second one down there. Okay, and then on the far left, do the reread restart servers button. And then say all reread. That'll take a second.
Yeah. So Krishna, that's the crazy part where, we can access this guy from, from it's illinois.gov Citrix. And so we can access the 8000 port, but we can't access 5054 port.
Yeah, it's not port level restriction, right? I think it's not resolving the URL,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
So did we try the IP configuration?
Yeah, we tried all that. Yeah.
Even that's not working?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know it's easy to get a VM under the Citrix, Akhil? Did you have one with the Dean?
Yeah, so this we opened from Citrix itself.
Yeah,
right?
this we opened from Citrix, but this is like
yeah, this is a different domain.
DCFS cloud, right?
Yes, this
So
is the cloud.
the Citrix is a do it cloud.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So do you know if you have an VM and do it cloud that we can use, or do we need to request one?
So the second ADA is also on the cloud on this cloud. So yeah,
DCFS cloud basically.
Yeah, we don't have a Citrix cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to figure that out with Dean, or maybe we can look at from the RLM side as well, right? As Megan mentioned, maybe there's something that we are not doing right. So it would be good if it works from this cloud, not the other cloud. Because there's always, between the clouds, there's already a lot of confusion. So
right.
It would be good if you have all the VMs in one place, not.
It would make things a lot easier if everything was in one place and instead of having to manage how many licenses on which server and things like that. Yeah. Okay, so I think it should have reread everything now. So click on the left column, the status. And then so you can see now both of those .lic files. We can delete the older one out of there if you wanted to, but right now it's showing that it read in both of the LIC files. One of those is your trial licenses, which are expired, and then the other is the one that we just uploaded. So now you should be able to launch Eggplant Functional, and it'll grab the developer license from the RLM server that we just uploaded.
Okay. So there's no configuration update needed on the DAI?
We will need to do the same process with DAI and assign those licenses out as well through KSM. So yeah, it looked like it just automatically pulled it. It's saying it must have crashed last time you used it before those trial licenses expired. So you can just cancel out of this if you want to. Not a big deal. But you have Eggplant opened, so that means it was able to read in the new licenses. If you want to look at that, you can do so on your Eggplant functional. Click on the Eggplant up at the top, and then licenses. And you can see that you now have 2 execution available, none are being used, 2 development available, 1 is being used. So that's showing everything that we just uploaded into RLM. And then for all of your information as well, if you click back onto the RLM webpage,
Okay.
You can do, so down in the bottom row here, there's a couple of buttons and fields. So license usage, underneath that, click on the test plant button. And then say get license usage. And so once this populates, it'll show you that you, Akil, have checked out one of the Eggplant functional licenses on this host machine at this time. So this will show you if ever, say you have 2, 3, 4, 5 licenses, and for whatever reason, that number of people is not able to launch an Eggplant functional instance, you can pull up on the RLM and see who has licenses checked out. It doesn't happen often, but say if Eggplant crashes, like we saw that crash report at the beginning, sometimes your license doesn't automatically get thrown back up to the RLM server. So the next time you go to launch Eggplant functional, it may say, oh, there's no licenses available because it thinks the one is still checked out. So it's brute force, but you can go in here on this page and you can actually physically remove someone's access.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's something like that where Eggplant crashes and you just need to remove that hold, or if, say, you go on vacation for a week and forget to close your Eggplant functional and someone else needs to use that license, they can come in and see that your license was checked out, but you're out of the office for the next 4 days. They can remove your access so that someone else can use the license. I do say it's brute force because if, say, in that instance, you hadn't saved your suite before you left for that vacation, you could, in theory, lose some work. So we don't say do that lightly. It's kind of one of those like last-ditch efforts, someone's on vacation or, you know, went on medical leave or something like that and had their license still checked out. So that is available to you, but use it with caution.
Got it. So there you go. So this is the host name, host. This is the code that we added, right? So
Yes. So it's the starting with the 00, but when you put it into KSM, you have to add that 0x in the beginning.
so then Megan, what if we just take this file? So what you're saying is that there are 2 licenses on this machine. So it's not that it's assigned to me, right? Anybody accessing this machine will use the license.
Yes. So anyone that is on the same anyone that is on any network that can hit this RLM server, if they put this RLM server's information into that licenses panel on their Eggplant functional instance, their Eggplant functional will ping up to the RLM server, and if there's an available license, check it out and allow them access to the GUI. So they're not just assigned to you. It just shows your name because your login was the one that checked out this license. They're available to anyone who has access to this RLM server.
So it's concurrent licensing, right? So it's like first come, first serve, really.
Correct. Yep. So if you, say, had 3 engineers that wanted to launch Eggplant right now, you only have 2 developer licenses on this system, on this RLM. So Akil's already got one. Someone else launches Eggplant functional. That third person who tries to launch, they would get a pop-up that says no licenses available. And that would be the accurate response in that situation because you only have 2 developer licenses available right now. If, next week or whenever we talk to support, we realize everything is resolved with the network connection, this is your final RLM server, we can upload the rest of those developer licenses onto this RLM. And then I think I remember the numbers, you have like 15 developer licenses. So you would have up to 15 available concurrent developers on Eggplant functional at any given time.
So what if we take this license file, I mean this whole RLM server win folder, and install it as a service on the host VM, right? And then we have Eggplant functional already installed there, Megan. So would it not just take the licensing information from that and just let us go in?
So the licenses are assigned to the MAC address of this computer.
Yes.
So if you copied this whole folder to the machine of the Citrix environment,
yes,
it would not be able to find any valid licenses because those licenses are assigned to this machine, not the host ID of the Citrix environment.
Oh, I see. So we'll have to still enter the MAC address or something in there.
Yeah, so you will need to assign the other licenses that we didn't assign in KSM just now to that secondary machine if we need to stand up a secondary RLM server.
And we could probably do that then. So then that's also brute force, but yeah, we can. It may not solve the problem, but we can try. So essentially, move this file there, move this folder there, create a Windows service there, and then replace the MAC address of that machine, save it there, and then come into your RLM here, and now create another set of license for that, one license per Citrix VM.
You would have to still go through the KSM website and do that process of selecting the licenses, assigning them to a host, selecting the number. If you just change the value in this file that's here in this folder, it'll still be recognized as invalid because there's license like tagging associated with it. But yeah, you can copy the whole folder over and then RLM is installed and set up. You would just have to go through KSM to make sure you actually had valid licenses available on that second system.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So is there a cloud hosted option, Megan, for the licensing server, or is it have to be hosted on-prem?
So I don't believe there is a cloud hosted RLM. We have not seen an issue in the past with RLM being accessed in environments when it's hosted on like an AWS machine or Azure machine or something like that. For some reason, it's just something with the way that you guys have the multiple domains. So the short answer is there's no cloud available option. It should work from a cloud system like your AWS machine or whatever. It's just for some reason, because of the multiple domains here, is where we're seeing the issue with the access not passing all the way to that second domain.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's look at it, if there are options, but otherwise, we may have to look for a VM under the Citrix environment. So yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it's something that's come up a couple of times throughout the years with our customers. I don't know if RLM themselves, because like I said, RLM is Reprise License Management. It's a third-party tool that we work with them to create the version that works for Eggplant Functional. I don't know if RLM themselves have access to a cloud-based option, but the version that works for our Eggplant Functional software, I know does not have a cloud-based option. So it's kind of a multi-level answer. If you looked up Reprise's website, they may say there is a cloud option, but it won't work with Eggplant Functional.
Okay. I see. So this is not a Keysight licensing software then?
The Reprise License Manager, the RLM, that is a third-party tool that we use for hosting licenses. So we create that bundle that you download from our webpage, you unzip that folder you're dropping your license into. That's all tailored to the specific ports and connectivity things that are needed for Eggplant Functional. But the actual RLM executable is from the third party, the other company.
Got it. Okay, that's
so.
All
let me ask a question, right? So how far are we off from our testers being able to log into Citrix and using Eggplant Functional?
So Jeff, they can now, for the ADA server, essentially they're doing a RDP from Citrix onto this new cloud, right? New cloud server, the DCFS Gov cloud, and accessing the ADA server. So they'll do the same thing for Eggplant. So they can begin right now. So
no, but not so. Each of the testers have to get onto the VM to do it.
Yeah. Until we figure out the RLM issue. Yes, that's that exactly. Yeah. So
And
essentially,
so
you can only do
multiple users can log on to that VM and run Eggplant from there.
no. I think the limit would be two
It's one
because
user
that's
at a time, Jeff.
yeah, one
That's
or
the
two
problem.
RDP.
That's not going to get us anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we
That's
need
right.
to figure out if there's a VM under do it, Jeff. So
If there's other VMs that are available in this same domain as the new RLM server we just stood up, you could have users logging onto those VMs as long as they're on the same network, same domain. They'd be able to ping to the RLM server and access those licenses. So again, you'd be able to have two simultaneous since we assigned the two licenses. But yeah, it's limitations of how many people can log into a single VM at a time. If it's only one, then only one person can access this VM. But
Yeah,
any
but
other
there's
machines
what I'm trying
on
to
the
say is
same
there's too many variables, right? There's VMs to choose, there's people, two people, there's multiple testers that get on. I don't think that's a workable solution, really, right?
No. So let's do what Megan is saying, Jeff. So Megan, yeah,
Yeah.
we can try it out. Let's do the, on here. Let's do the
Uh-huh.
key side, the RLM configuration here.
Okay.
Okay.
On this
Yeah,
VM.
yeah, because this is Citrix. This is a different
Okay.
cloud. So if this works, then that's fine because this is where we have all the users will have their functional right here.
On their
Yeah.
client.
Yes.
In their
Okay.
VM.
And so then you and say Camila would have access inside of the one we just set up on the RLM server with the two licenses. Now here we will assign however many more licenses you want to this RLM server, and then your engineers would have access here.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
So what we'll need to do then is we will need to get the physical address of this machine, and then we'll have to go back into KSM and assign the number of licenses to this new RLM server. We will also need to drop in the RLM folder to this system. So we have all that set up.
Yes. So how did we begin? We have to get to that. Is it this URL?
So you are in the right place. So all you need
Okay.
to do now is, again, request new licenses.
Yeah. So what if we do it here?
You can do it from that same machine where you just were.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I just
don't need
want
to
to
go
see.
to KSM on this system. You can,
Oh,
but you
there
don't
you
need
go.
to.
Okay. Good. All right.
Because you can do this KSM portion from any computer. You just need to use the correct physical address when you're assigning licenses, because then those licenses are tied to that physical address.
Yeah,
But you
we
could
got it.
be
Yeah.
at home on your personal laptop setting up KSM, and it doesn't matter.
Sure. Okay. So request new licenses.
Correct.
So Camilla, why don't you try this? Give us your um, MAC address.
How can I find it?
It would be the MAC address we're using here. The physical address is going to be the machine, a machine inside of the Citrix environment where we want this new license to live. This new RLM server inside of the Citrix environment, we're going to need to stand up a server inside of Citrix. So if Camilla, if your environment is the Citrix environment, it can be your machine, but then you have to remember that your machine needs to always be on and accessible by anyone who is inside of Citrix and wanting to access a license.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Okay.
So yeah, so go ahead and just do the ipconfig all on your command prompt.
On
So
my command.
yeah. So this one
Mhm.
is good, right,
IP?
Megan? I just do
Mhm.
assign products.
Yes, so correct. It is correct. The only caution I'm saying now is unless unless Camilla's system is going to ultimately be the RLM system on this Citrix environment, we can reassign licenses, but our support team doesn't like to do it regularly. So I
I
don't
see.
like the idea of just trying
I
it,
see.
if that makes sense.
Got it.
Unless this is the system where it's
No.
going to stay.
I mean, no. She's just a Eggplant functional user.
Okay. Do you have a VM inside of that Citrix environment that we can
No.
access right now and set up as the server?
No, we don't. We don't have that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. So
Okay.
this is good. Yeah.
It's one of those where we can do it right now, but I just don't I don't want to set up for more confusion over the next week or two when we have to reassign. And like I said, it's possible it is a doable action. It's just it's a lot of paperwork on the back end within the support system.
Got it. Okay. So no problem. So how do we configure the DAI now?
Okay, so since we're here, we can do the DAI piece, and we can assign out all of the DAI licenses because we know that both domains have access to DAI. So click the checkbox next to all of those DAIs. So yeah, you have 4 lines, developer and execution, and then you can assign all those out.
But what about the performance testing environment? Would that be a different DAI?
So performance testing is at the very bottom, there's that line that says EPP 500 standard virtual users. That is your performance license. So that would be a completely separate setup process. It's a different product that we would be installing and, importing that license into. Yeah. So you may end up putting it on this same server that we're looking at right now, but, you would have to install a separate product first and all of that.
Yeah, but looks like our load is very high, Megan. It's extremely high. So yeah, it might kill the server if you run performance on
Yeah, so it might make sense then to stand up a separate server that is for performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you have the ability to up the specs and bandwidth and things like that of this system.
Yeah, I think when we first spoke, Kelly, if you remember, I think they discussed for 500 users set up, virtual users, that we would run performance testing. We will need 15 servers, I think 15 VMs, if I'm not mistaken, to be set up for that. Right?
I don't think you would need 15 servers. Like I said, I am not the expert on setting up performance or any of that. So we can get some more information from my teammate who would be the right point of contact for that. But I don't believe you need 15 servers to set up performance.
Okay. I guess to run the number of virtual users is what I understood. But anyway, that's a different. Let's progress what we're doing. Yep.
Yeah. We are interested to know, how do you simulate, 1 million hits a month?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So assign products then. Might have to click it again. I don't know if it registered. Huh.
Refresh.
Yeah, we can try again.
Oh, it must have timed out.
It needs you to re-verify that you are in fact a human. That's always fun. Okay. Okay. And now this is where we'll put that same host ID, but we don't need to make any changes to it. So it'll just be the 00 dash information that you pulled from. Yeah, you can pull it from here if you want. You'll just have to add the dashes back in. So you don't need the 5053 part, but you will need the rest of it.
Okay.
So if you paste that in, you can delete off the 5053, and then every 2 characters add a dash in. Yep. Save. And then continue. Okay, so same thing, you'll just wait for that download option. And then in our services, let's make sure that the DAI, the Digital Automation Intelligence service, is started. It looks like you have services open right now already. Oh, yeah, you just grab it there. So if you scroll up, okay, so Digital Automation Intelligence is already running, so we're great. Once that file gets is available for download, we will just go to the web page for DAI, and you should get a pop-up right away asking for your license key, and so we'll just add the information in.
So I download them here, right?
Correct. Yep. So downloads, so this new text file, open that up. And you will want to, so you'll have to do this 4 times because there were 4 line items that we assigned out, but you will want to copy each of those license key strings, including the square brackets on the front and back end. And then navigate to your DAI web page.
VM, yeah. Oh, I think we changed it.
Yeah, is it the domain,
Yeah,
the domain name?
Yeah. And we added a HTTPS also, I think.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think we did not meet again after you all were able to get it working, but it looks like maybe that third
Right
option
here.
down is the,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so now you'll use your username and password, and once you enter that, it should give you the pop-up saying input the license.
Oh, okay. And this was from Jared. We changed it. Okay.
This would be whatever your DAI password was. This is not the system admin username and password for your computer.
Yes, that's right. Jared had changed this because there was some restriction on IP address and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, let me just stop sharing and get that. Okay, so that's yes, there it is. Okay, let's see if that works.
Yeah, I have to jump off, Autumn. We do need to plan out and make sure we have clarity on the agenda for tomorrow and the after sessions.
Yeah, so the agenda will be essentially what I sent to you guys when we first last spoke end of last week. And I'll make some slight modifications since like tomorrow's training session is only an hour versus I had kind of broken it out by 2 hours. But it's essentially going to be those breakdowns of topics, and the topics will slide from session to session depending on what we were able to cover in each meeting. And some of that will also matter too, of like, if the people that are on the call have a lot of questions, then that's great. I love interactive sessions and we'll cover questions as we get them. But then we may cover slightly less topics because we're answering more questions, which means, more will switch to the next week. So it will roughly follow that agenda that I sent out last week, but, fluid as the sessions go.
So I'm just looking for the agenda. Did you send an attachment or?
So I sent it in the email chain from last week. Let me find it. It was a link to our Ignite hosted platform. But let me.
Which we can review again next time, just to make sure that you've got access.
Yes.
As we'll be posting recordings of the trainings and other sessions.
But I just want to go back and see what to expect, right? So that's why.
Yes.
Where do I? Yeah.
Let me forward this to you all again right now.
Sorry.
Megan, just for the RLM server, yeah, I understand that, there's process involved from moving licenses to one another, right? But I think we really need some way to test on a Citrix desktop. That will give us the quickest access. So is it possible to get like a test, trial license? That we can install on a Citrix and then,
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn. Autumn, Kelly, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think we can provide a temp license for verifying that we can connect everything through the RLM on the Citrix, so that we know that that works. So then that way you guys can decide if you want to assign permanent license to that setup.
I'd support that key, Megan.
Okay. Thank you.
We've got a short timeline and we appreciate that, we're working through setup. So let's do that.
Thank you. That will really help, because as we get testers on, on the training, they'll be curious to start, learning the tool, right? So that's why I'm
agreed. Yeah.
So,
very important.
Yeah, I can set that up either this afternoon or first thing tomorrow and send that key over to you. So then that can be the first thing we do as part of the training tomorrow is set that up in the RLM on the Citrix environment, and it'll be the exact same as it was during the trial. You won't have to go through KSM for that because you'll have the license file and you'll just need to add it to the RLM folder in that new machine.
Yeah, sure. If you send that in the morning, maybe Akhil, you and I can try on a Citrix and have it ready. If it works, yeah.
The only thing I will need is whether it's Camilla's machine or someone else's machine, I will need that physical address for the machine we're going to be trialing inside the Citrix environment, because even for temporary keys, I have to generate the temporary key with the host ID of the machine it'll live on. That's just kind of how it works with RLM.
Sure. So do you need the MAC ID or?
Yes. Yeah. So if you have that right now, great. If you want to send it to me in email sometime this afternoon, that's fine as well, because I know we are coming up against the top of the hour here. I don't know if you all have to run to another meeting, but yeah, I would just need that information. If it is your system, Camilla, then I can assign the license there.
Okay. I will send it.
So Megan, do I enter all the 4 licenses at the same time?
I believe you have to do them one at a time. So if this is just the first one, you would hit agree, and then it should pop you fully into the page now. Awesome. So now you will do, scroll on the left side. There should be like a system. Yeah, so system, click on that, and then licenses. And now you will add licenses, and here is where you will add the other 3 licenses in. But you can see now that first one has an expiration date of 2028. So your first set is already in, and then you'll drop in the other 3 square bracket lines from that file, and you will be good to go with DAI. So DAI is all set up then with the new licenses.
Okay. So then DAI is also accessible only from this server.
I thought from what you had said, this DAI new web address with the domain name is accessible all the way through to the Citrix environment.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So if that is the case, so anyone from your Citrix environment now, if you want to try and hit that website, you should be able to log in from your other system.
Yeah, and it'll take 1 license. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, we are good. Yeah, so I think maybe Krishna, if you can give her your MAC address, and we can try tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
up to
sure.
you.
I can give that. Yeah. So is it the host name or
Yeah,
the
so it would
IP?
be the physical address. So when you do ipconfig-all, you'll find the line item that says physical address, and it'll be like a number and digit or number and letter combo. That's going to
Yep.
be, it's going to look like this one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I see
number
that. Yep.
dash, number dash, number dash,
Uh-huh.
and that'll be what you send over.
Yep, I can send that right away. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll get that temporary key cut then so we can set up the Citrix environment, just make sure that everyone has access from that side. And if that works and you guys decide you want to set up those 2 RLM servers, then we can go through KSM and permanently assign licenses. But at that point, I would say we would want to have a virtual server machine stood up because we want to make sure that you don't have to have your computer turned on and available to every engineer at all times. That's the tricky part, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so the machine is always on, but yeah, again, still it's
Yeah.
tied to an individual. Yeah, I agree. I think we'll figure out a VM at that point. But yeah, before we ask for a VM, we want to make sure that
Yes. Yep.
what kind of configuration is needed, right? So yeah.
And I do not foresee there being any issue with Citrix users accessing the Citrix RLM. It's just something about the cross domain that RLM is having a problem with. And we can also, in parallel, send this over to our support team and have them ask you some questions and see if there's any troubleshooting we can do. But we will get that temporary key cut so we can make sure everything works for now.
That'll be great. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. We're good. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Anything else that we want to cover today?
So
Camilla?
tomorrow we will not work on RLM, right? On installation, we need just kick off the session of how to use Eggplant.
So the only setup piece we would do is if you were not able to set the Citrix RLM up ahead of time, we could walk through that live on that call. Otherwise, I can work on that with you guys offline if you want to keep them completely separate, training versus setup. And I can just do, because realistically, I will be doing training on my system. I will be showing, sharing my screen and walking through concepts and things like that. So it really just depends if you want these to be 2 separate, deployment installation on one call and then training entirely just training on another call. Then yeah, that's kind of the thought
From
process.
my perspective, we don't need setup a queue, Krishna, right? We mostly need the training for testers.
Yes.
Because setup will be done by a separate team.
Yes.
Also, it will be this week will be only core sessions, and next week we will start testing together, right?
What was that for me or for on your side?
I think for this sessions this week we have 1 hour, 2 hours.
We have 2 1-hour sessions. Well, tomorrow is an hour, and then it looks like Thursdays is an hour and a half. So we will be starting with Eggplant Functional, and we'll be working through basic scripting within Eggplant Functional. And likely with that 2.5 or so hours of sessions over the next 2 days, we will probably get through what's listed when I just reset that agenda to you guys, what's listed in the session 2 box where it's basic scripting 1, 2, and 3. That will likely be what we would cover over the course of tomorrow and Thursday sessions.
Okay, because we discussed 5 hours of core session and then scripting, and we have less now for core.
Yeah, so it when we were originally talking about that, last week or wherever that was, I think it would be between Eggplant Functional and DAI, it's probably about somewhere between 6, 7, 8 hours of material for like the basic material. So we will get through, like I said, roughly just the basic eggplant functional scripting over the 2 courses or the 2 sessions tomorrow and Thursday. And then next week, let's see what our sessions so far we have.
Are you saying, sorry, can we share? I'm just going to pull it up, Megan, so we
Yeah.
have it. Let me download this. And
Here,
just
let me share, because I did make some
Perfect.
modifications based
You did?
on
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so this is likely, so this was kind of where we were starting today with project kickoff, walking through things.
Can you make that a little bit bigger? It's kind of hard to see. Thanks.
Okay, so we did project kickoff today. We will probably cover some of this eggplant functional introduction tomorrow. We did make sure we had RLM set up and licenses assigned and things like that. DAI installation was complete. So I'll reconfigure some of this overview type information into tomorrow's session at the start. But essentially what I'm thinking will happen is a combination of eggplant functional overview to start tomorrow, and then going into these sets of topics, which are the basic scripting 1, 2, and 3. And this will likely be what we will cover between tomorrow's and Thursday's sessions. And then when we start next week, we will either continue with basic scripting if we didn't get through all of this, because there's a lot that we could go in depth with all of this. If people are, really asking questions and things like that, we may not get through all of these basic scripting sessions. Then we would just pick up where we left off next week. Otherwise, we would next week start with DAI.
Okay.
And so we would go and we would do some, basic overview of DAI. And we could either start with, so the way I have it set up is just scheduling first. So quick overview of modeling and just kind of walking through what that is. But then we would spend the bulk of our time on setting or, showing scheduling and things like that. And, schedules created from scripts within Eggplant Functional. And then after that, we jump into Eggplant Functional Advanced Scripting. So that's, again, just back to Eggplant Functional, more topics, diving in depth into things that you would use for, creating fully fleshed out test cases and things like that. And then after that, we've got kind of more topics within DAI that the DAI modeling, requirement traceability, and then user performance modeling. User performance monitoring. So again, it's very fluid depending on what questions come from the teams and things like that. But I foresee tomorrow and Thursday really just being this material, the basic Eggplant functional material.
I got it. We also discussed that we will co-coding, so coding together,
Yes.
scripting together. Are these sessions include that, or it will be separate sessions?
So the sessions that we have with you can and will include that. I don't know if we will get to that with the sessions that are currently on the calendar. If you want to do that earlier, we can start that instead of doing DAI right off the bat. We can do some basic scripting, maybe some advanced scripting, and then dive right into coding your workflows and move DAI to later sessions. It really just depends. Do you want to focus mostly on Eggplant Functional and get started with your workflows right from the beginning? And then we jump into DAI in a couple of, a week or 2 or 3 weeks, depending on where our sessions lie. We can do that as well. And I can just reorganize this agenda based on that.
I think we can go with your plan, and then add, even when we are in PI, we can add some sessions. It will be more helpful for the testers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome.
sorry, I just
script together.
Camilla, I have just a clarifying question, because when you're saying these other testers that would be involved, is the intent that they'd ever be on any of these sessions with us, or you're going to be relaying these learnings to the team?
I will be there, definitely. And there were no testers including on all the sessions before. We're going to have around 50 testers included in tomorrow's sessions and all following sessions.
Okay. So the other thing, Megan, I just think is something to take note of. So Camilla, I believe you guys have some critical deadlines though with the team, and one of them is before the end of October, correct?
We have PI starting on October 21st or 20th. So we need to cover all the theoretical part before that. I will encourage testers to go by themselves and explore. But it would be nice to have few sessions before PI with hands-on experience together. And if it will be not enough, after PI starts, we can set up the rest sessions to scripting together.
Okay, so with that in mind, then I will not do DAI early. I think we want to make sure. Yeah, I think we want to make sure that you guys are set up to know Eggplant Functional and start scripting before your PA. So we will do basic scripting, jump right into advanced scripting. And so this will be probably about between the 3 basic scripting and 3 advanced scripting sessions. That's about 4 hours of material. So that will probably get us through the sessions that are currently scheduled next week. So through Wednesday next week sessions. And then we'll just need to get some other sessions on the calendar where we can start doing live scripting. And so you guys can come to the session, have one person designated as the share screen on your side, and we will work through your workflow and actually create your test cases based on your workflow and, using the material we covered before that, and we'll go from there. Does that work for a new agenda?
And then with that agenda, when we will cover DAI?
We would cover DAI a bit later. We could still cover it probably before the PI if we end up, continuing to have about 2 sessions a week. But this would get you all scripting and Eggplant Functional first, so that outside of our training sessions, people can be working on Eggplant Functional scripts on their own, and have that background and material to start working on Eggplant Functional scripts before, because DAI is where you schedule the tests that you've already created in Eggplant Functional. Yeah. So we don't need to cover that as early if we're on a big time crunch to get to an actual, testing event, if that makes sense.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I also want to ask you if I can send to the testers, to the whole QA team, the link for the learning resources you have.
Yes. Let me.
So 2 things. So Megan, will you, based on the new agenda, will you be altering our project plan and then can send it out? And I could just make sure Jeff's clear on the agenda for these sessions, because he did ask for that.
Yes. Yeah,
Awesome.
we can do that.
And
okay, so this will be the training. So this is the self-paced training that is not required, but it will be helpful for each of your engineers to go through this. They will each need to create an account, and this is the access code that they'll use. And then they'll just click on the Eggplant Functional e-learning, and then ultimately when you get to DAI e-learning, but Eggplant Functional is where we'll start. And I will cover a lot of material that is similar to what is covered in these self-paced modules, but it just gives people, after our sessions, the ability to kind of work through examples on their own, and actually do that coding on their own as well. And so again, at the end, you'll get, a nice certificate saying you're Eggplant Functional certified. It is not required unless you guys on your internal side decide to make this a required thing. But it is really helpful for teams who are just starting out to really get that hands-on experience.
I'm glad you brought that up, Megan. Given the size of the, student participants, those kinds of things could really help.
Yeah. So that is that link. They don't need to have access to Eggplant Functional to create an account and to view the training, but to open Eggplant Functional and start working through lessons, they would need Eggplant Functional. So we'll have that trial setup key. I'll have to see what my options are for how long I can create the trial key for. So they may only have access like tomorrow with that trial key. But once we can figure out your final configuration, then they would have access to Eggplant Functional with your permanent licenses on that RLM server.
So Camilla, what we'll do is after today's session, we'll send out a new project planning agenda based on what Megan just walked through as the modified workflows. So you know the agenda to share with your testers for each session. And then we'll also send you out the link to all of the recordings that we'll have. So you can access that and anyone from your team with the link and password. And then that link that Megan just shared. So either myself or an email will come from Megan with this summarized, and that way you'll have that for the team.
And Megan, I put the machine address in the chat.
Perfect. Yep, I see that right now.
So that's enough, right? I don't need to send the email then.
Yep, you're great.
All
I
right,
will just copy that right now to make sure I don't lose it, and I'll put it here for right now.
All right. Yeah, do let me know if you miss it. I can resend it. So.
Yep, I've got it in my file there. So I will go into my internal KSM and get that requested. We've recently been having a bit more oversight on the KSM side, so things get stuck in a compliance hold, but normally it's out within a couple of hours. So we should be able to get that to you before tomorrow's session, hopefully shortly this afternoon. But just want to set expectations that we do get stuck in compliance hold sometimes with those trial keys.
Yeah, if we get that early, then myself and Akhil, we can try based on what we did on this server, right? So if it works, we'll save some time, right?
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, otherwise we'll ping you and see if we are available before the training session to figure that out.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, let's see, what's our training session is
Tomorrow.
in the afternoon tomorrow at noon my time. Yeah, I have wiggle room tomorrow beforehand if we needed to meet. I have a customer meeting at 8 a.m. my time that I do need to be on, but otherwise the rest of my meetings tomorrow are internal that I can meet with you guys in place of. So whenever you are free, if we need to meet before the training session tomorrow, I do have availability.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm
Megan.
hoping we'll be able to, but we'll let you know.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll adjust accordingly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You'll be hearing from us soon. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Megan.
Bye.
Thank you.